Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Today, we're going to be talking about how to turn one open house into a stream of listings. To get the most out of today's webinar, we want you to take really good notes and use that Q&A panel there to ask any questions you might have. Don't stress if we don't answer it right away. We will be taking questions at the end. If you want to reach us at any time after today's webinar, you can reach us on all social media channels at Darryl Speaks. Darryl's the author of 3 books. Whoa, all published by McGraw-Hill Publishers. That first one there, How to Become a Power Agent in Real Estate, is actually one of the best-selling books on Amazon to real estate agents. Darryl was named one of the top real estate newsmakers by Risk Media Magazine this year in the Big Hearted and Brave category. He said that's right. He is the recipient of the coveted CSP designation, which is only given to less than 2% of speakers worldwide by the National Speakers Association. On that note, Darryl, I'm excited to hear what you have to say today.
Well, thank you, Jules. All right, gang. So welcome. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We're very excited that you're here. So a couple more pieces of things to do before I get into the content. Some of you, this is your first time coming to our webinar, so I want to just address the question. Is this a sales pitch? Sometimes you've seen that in webinars where they really don't teach anything. That's not the case, but I do want to be, it's not the case here at all, but I do want to be clear for the people that are here for the first time. These webinars, we started at the beginning of the pandemic weekly for our power agents. So some of you on this call are power agent members, and some of you are guests. And I just want to bring the guests up to speed that the power agents are people that are in our coaching program. So from time to time during this webinar, I'm going to have like a sidebar conversation to talk to them, to point something out. But as a guest, you're going to get a tremendous amount of value. So because this is a teaching session. Now, for those of you that are guests, just to take that question out of your head, well, what is a power agent? Just cover that for 60 seconds. It is, it's our membership program. I'm sorry, I just got distracted by a little tech glitch here. Give me a second, gang. You can, if you wanted to, as a guest, if you decide you wanted to try the program, you can do it for $5 today. You'll have complete access to the program for the next 30 days. You can cancel anytime and you get incredible bonuses. This is a screenshot of all the bonuses that you get as a guest at the trial for $5. It is incredible. And I'll explain those bonuses later. So there's that. Okay. Now, with that said, I do want to talk to the power agents for a second. And there'll be some teaching in this as well for the guests. Power agents, first of all, what I want to tell you is that Carol Brown, one of the power agents, she posted in the Facebook closed group for us. She said, I'd like to thank power agent Regina McCann for finding me in the directory, sending me a referral. I cannot dream of a better scenario. Her buyer called. We emailed back and forth. The homes, escalation clause. She won. The seller's agent was easy to work with. Anyway, the bottom line is Carol, at her $47 a month membership, she just paid probably for the next 10 years from a referral from a power agent in the directory. So we're getting a lot of power agents that are referring business back and forth. So I just want to point out to the power agents that you need to go to the directory. And when you go to the directory, people can find you. I want to just show you this. There is a link to update your directories. Make sure you do that, because see where all these on the screen right now, you'll see some people have photos, some people don't. Like if I were looking to refer to a power agent, I'd want somebody who took the time to, be a power agent and fill out their directory. So, and here's the part I want to show you. Area service, whatever area you type in there, that'll help people find you, right? So for example, we have some Long Islanders, like you should type in Long Island, not just the town that you work in, okay? Here's a teaching moment. I just want to shout out to Marco Antonio. This is something he just posted in the Facebook group. And guests, I want you to pay this a teaching moment. It went out for a purposeful, first of all, I love that term, purposeful walk around our neighborhood today. It happened to be a neighborhood garage sale day. Of course, I took a bunch of business cards and cash just in case we found something. That's funny. Using some of the scripts from the Power Agent Library, I was able to have some really meaningful conversations with some of the neighbors. I handed out my cards. I ended up with 2 leads. one with immediate real estate need. I have their names and numbers I'm going to follow. Plus, I got some tacos from the local taco stand. Thanks to Power Agents, I've learned these options. Learned there's more options than just cold calling and ads. And there's a screenshot of the taco business. Now, here's what I want to put. Here's the teacher moment, though. What's really great about Marco and what he shared was that he made real estate fun, right? He walked his neighborhood, walked the farm. It was a lot of garage sales, getting to meet the neighbors, buying some stuff. So what I really love about this is he had fun in doing his real estate business. And I just want to highlight that for everybody, okay? Here's the next thing I just want to share, and then we're going to get into this content. I just found this article on Power Agents. I posted this in the Facebook group for you, and you'll get a copy of these slides as well, Power Agents. The rate of the home. Here's the bottom line. What this is showing is that the appreciation rate of homes is predicted to slow up in 2022, right? So we saw about 18% this year. It's going to be going down maybe to 2%. These are great slides and communications to show homeowners who are on the fence about selling their house. And so Power Agents, I wanted to give you this. I just did this morning for you. Okay, let's talk about open houses. Now, what I'm going to cover, everybody take a deep breath. That was just some cleaning up stuff. Okay. So how to turn one open house into a slew of leads for you. I am going to teach you the 4 P's for a successful open house. We're going to talk about preparing for your open house. We're going to talk about promoting your open house. Then we're going to talk about presenting your open house the day of the open house. And then post open house, which is really follow-up. But if I said follow-up, I couldn't call it the 4 P's. I hope you're laughing. All right, let's go.
I am. I'm just on mute.
Yeah, I hope everybody's laughing. I can't hear you. All right, but I hope we're having fun so far. Preparation. Let's talk about preparing your open house. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips. First of all, what you should do is you should have a checklist to help you stay focused. You know, when you have a checklist, your business should be system dependent, not people dependent. Some of us are sloppy on how we do our business. We don't run a business like it's a business. And every successful business uses checklists. They're organized. They're systems, right? So Power Agents, we created this open house checklist for you. Everybody, the guests on the call, you should make sure you have a checklist so that way you don't forget anything. That's number 1. Number 2 is here's some criteria to consider when it comes to doing an open house. Like, where should you do it? So first of all, any listing that's new to market, that's great open house to do, okay? Let's say you have a house that you know is going to sell. You don't even need to do an open house. It's a new listing. Should you do it anyway? Absolutely. I'm going to talk about that later, maybe even on the slide. But if you have a new listing that comes out and you know it's going to sell, you're going to get multiple offers, you should hold the offer presentation to the homeowner until you have the open house. Why? Because the open house opportunity for you to promote your business, generate more listings, generate more buyers. Open house, super important. You should be doing it on every house. Try, if you're going to go back and look at your inventory, or you're going to ask another agent in your office, can I do an open house? Try to do one that's not in a gated community, right? Because a gated community it makes it harder to attract people to the open house. If you have something that's close to major streets, visible location, even better. So even if, some of us would look at a listing that's on a main street and we would say, I don't even want that listing because that's a hard house to sell because the traffic and the kids, it's going to be hard to. No, man, I love listings on main streets. Why? Because that's like, you put a for sale sign in front of the house. It's like a billboard. It's like free advertising. All the eyeballs that are going to be on that house. You do an open house, you put some flags out, same thing. So if it's priced to sell, I already addressed that. That's good. The better the price, I'm going to shout out to Mike Morris. Mike Morris is a great broker here in Long Island, co-banker, a friend of mine. He had this listing come out on Long Island, and some of you won't appreciate this price when I say it. It was $159,000. Now, I looked at that. It's like, because nothing, you can't even buy a bathroom for $159,000 Long Island. So I called Mike up and he said, Darryl, I had that thing sold 100 times over. We got like so many. In other words, what he did is he priced it ridiculously low to get a ton of people to the property. And of course, it was a bidding war. He sold it way above what it was, that price and what it was worth. So there's an advantage to pricing things really below market in this continual hot market. The market's cooling a little bit in some areas, but it's real. Part of what this does, every listing that you get, if you work it properly, it's an opportunity for you to generate business from it. That's what you should be looking at every listing. I'm going to say that again. Everybody take a breath, listen, focus to what I just said. Every listing you get, you've got to think of it. How can I use this to generate a ton of business from the one listing? What are all the things you can do? And this is what we're covering here. Consider paying a referral fee to a listing agent. So if you go to a listing agent and say, listen, I would like to, can I do an open house on one of your listings? I would like to attract some buyers and get some business. Can you help me? Some agents would be happy to do that because, especially if they're a top listing agent and they can't do all the open houses that they would like to do. So it's a way to help out a colleague, and you'll pay them a referral fee on every buyer that comes in off that open house. You sell that any of those buyers, they'll get a 10% referral fee. They're servicing their seller. It's a benefit. The house could sell from it. A lot of benefits to doing that. That's for agents that don't have listings. That's something you can do to help do an open house. Do it on a colleague's listing. Use the open house opportunity to stage the photos and update your listing. Now, what I mean by this is, one of the questions we get from power agents a lot is, Darryl, I got this house. It's really a mess. It's like when you ring the doorbell, it goes woof, woof. And how do I tell the homeowner that the house is not good? So what you can do, gang, is you can tell the homeowner, first of all, here's one of the analogies I like to use, is everybody lives in two houses or has two houses. There's the house that they live in day to day, and then there's the house that they live in during the holidays and inviting people over. So, and all of us know, right? When we're having a party and we're having people over to our house, what do? Come on. We make the beds, we clean, we put out the fine china, we make it nice. It's a little bit nicer than our day-to-day house. So what we want to explain to a homeowner is that what we want to do when selling the house is we want the holiday party house, not the day-to-day living in house. That's what we need to do, right? And so that's number one. Number two is you can tell the homeowner, because of the open house, what I like to do is really stage the house for the open house. Now, when you tell them this and they stage it, they clean it up, they get rid of the whatever, that's when you can maybe retake the photos because you've already had it on MLS and the photos may not be the best unless you use one of our vendors that we recommend, Box Brownie, to clean it up. And then you have the photos retaken and upload them, right? So one of the things you can do is give some advice to a homeowner on how to stage the property. Now, there's professional stagers out there, but what we did for the power agents, we created this little brochure on how to stage. It's really simple, like, declare. Listen, there's people that are masters at staging, and they can do so much better job, and you're going to pay for it, but you get what you pay for. So here's just some simple things that every realtor can share with a homeowner about what they can do to make the house more presentable. In some cases, there might be some little fixes. You all know that it doesn't cost a lot of money, but like you'll spend $10 and you'll get back $100. So this is something to give to the homeowner. Like this just jumped out at me. I'm looking at the list over here. Like the second one from the bottom, it says light bulbs. Home inspectors have written, see licensed electrician in the report solely due to bulbs missing or not working, right? So you tell a homeowner, listen, you don't want to engineer inspection and come back and say, oh, you should check that make sure that light's working because there wasn't a bulb in it. But not only that, but for even an open house, right? Bright lights, don't energy efficient bulbs, not when you're selling your house. That's just one little tip I pulled from that caught my eye. Power agents, I want to just talk to you. Everything that I just showed you there, all this stuff, if you go to Classroom, you're going to find that in servicing sellers. So some of those checklists that I just showed you, power agents, it's in the servicing tab of the Classroom of the Power program. Okay. Continuing our preparation in a hot, I love this. In a hot seller's market. Hey, Julie, I want to shout out from the agents and get their input on what they're learning. I'm going to ask everybody what you're learning. Not right now, but Julie, when I do after I finish teaching number 2, preparation, and then there's the next P, okay? Because I forgot that slide. Okay. In a hot seller's market, considering which a lot of us are in right now, is consider a longer time frame than just 2 hours. Listen, gang, an open house in this hot market, I don't understand why we're still doing 2 hours. The only reason why you would still do a 2-hour open house, I've seen 90 minutes. I don't get that. The only reason why you would do it 2 hours, if you've got a listing that just doesn't get a big turnout, and you're sitting there for 2 hours, you get one person. Do you want to sit there for 4 hours to get 2 people? No, that's not good. But if you've got a listing or a market, because there's all different states on this webinar right now. If you're in a market where a listing is getting a bunch of people, the longer the better. Why? Because it's like a store, any retail store. Why would a retail store? If they're open from 9, they're going to go close at 5. Why would they do 9 to 12? That doesn't make any sense. This opportunity for you to attract business. So I say do 3-4 hours. All right, even longer if you want. Schedule a house before. Now, if you're only going to do 2 hours, which I highly recommend you don't do, but if you were going to do 2 hours, what I can tell you works is to not do what everybody else is doing. So if everybody's doing 12 to 2 or 1 to 3, then you do 10 to 12 or something like that, or do it at the end. Like, you want to be where there isn't competition. So whatever that is in your local market, because you'll notice that there's a tradition on how people do their open houses. I have found in Long Island, because I've been looking at houses, that the ones that go on the off hours seem to get better showings. Okay, let's talk about proper signage is paramount. Now, I'm going to show you something a lot of you are not going to do because it's way too much work. But I'm going to share with you one of the secret sauces, ingredients that made my company, the office that I managed, we were number 1 our first 6 months when we opened our doors. And there were a couple of reasons why that was. Well, there's a lot, but there's 2, in my mind, there were 2 top ones. I'm going to show you one of them right now. The second one was actually our dot board, which is another teaching thing. But all right, let's go to this. This photo, gang, is black and white because I'm old. But this is Liz, one of my agents in my office, hanging up a sign with the staple gun on a telephone pole. And people say, you're not allowed to do that in my town. Now people do it all the time. You'll see it says yard sales, right? But what I want to point out to you at the top, I know it's blurry, it had the company logo. Then it had open house, big thing. And then at the bottom, it had the address of the property. And there was also a fluorescent arrow that's not in this picture. Now, you see the cars on the road there? I want you to imagine. So I know the picture's bad, but see the cars in the background? I want you to imagine that this sign is put up on a major road with an arrow telling people, hey, there's an open house. Now, I also want you to imagine not just that sign, but imagine 10 of those that go as far as maybe 3/4 of a mile away from the house, dragging people in. Now, let me tell you this other thing. My office, big listing office, we were number 1. We would do about 6 to 10 open houses every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 6 to 10. Our office policy was a minimum of 10 of these signs per open house. So imagine if we just went with 6 open houses times 10, how many signs were out on the weekend? 60. When my team used to go on a listing appointment and say, have you ever seen our open house signs? Every homeowner in the town would say, I see it every weekend. This is, forget about the open house. This is advertisement. Now, in addition to that, we would get tons of people because we dragged them in. Now, when I was doing an open house for one of my investment properties, I try to recreate what I did when I managed my office. This is kind of what it looked like. It's a little bit better, but the yellow, the fluorescent arrow. Now, it's a lot of work. I said, some of you are not going to do it. So if you didn't want to do this, I'm going to give you the next best thing. D Signs, I've already researched it. Of all the sign companies out there, D Signs is the only one that has the biggest, come and scale, what is that? Flag. What is it?
The feather flags?
The feather flags, thank you. They were the one with the biggest feather flag of any of the real estate sign flag companies. 11 feet. That, you see that guy there? That's a big ass flag. Now, imagine you put that out. Now, the only drawback compared to the other sign that I showed you is that our policy was to have 10, so we dragged people in from from all areas. This, I don't know how far you would go out with it, but even if it was on the corner, the main road, that would definitely grab people's attention. Okay, let's continue. Gather your neighborhood list. So we're going to start marketing to the neighbors about this open house, because you want to invite the neighbors, but I'm going to tell you another thing to do with the neighbors instead of just the open house. We'll teach that in a second, but you got to gather the list of people in the community. You can do that through cold directory. That's one option. Power agents, listen, shout out Power Agents. We negotiated a discount for you. It saves over $200. So that's in the tech tools and training tab. All right. The next place to get neighborhood list is from RedX. Now, we're a big supporter of RedX. We push it with our Power Agents. Power Agents, they get everything's waived for a month. There's no setup. It saves them over $500. Power Agents. With RedX, you'll see at the top there, it has a bunch of great things out, expired leads, and then it says GeoLeads physical. The GeoLeads, which is in red, that is how it works, is that you type in an address, let's say of a house that you're going to do an open house, and then you say, give me a radius around that house, and then you purchase. So you get to own this list now. You download the whole list of people, the address, their names, they got a cell number, phone numbers, and now you own the list. So it's a one-time purchase. And then you can do whatever you want with it. Now, one of the things I would do with that before you do a public open house is you do a neighborhood open house. I've been teaching this for over 35 years. I see a lot more people doing it now. What the neighborhood open houses, gang, is this. You take those neighbors before a public open house and you create a wedding invitation looking type of piece, and you mail it to them in an envelope and handwrite it out. Put a real stamp on it. And this is what it looks like. Now, Power Agents, we actually have a template for you on this. We create the template for you. You'll see it says you're invited. And when you open it up, it says you're invited. This event is by invitation only. As the homeowners will not be present, I'll be providing a personal tour of the home and you put the address. Let me tell you, that thing I circled in red, that's the secret sauce there. If you mail out 50 or 100 of these handwritten wedding invitation looking pieces, and you send it to the neighbors and you say, listen, I'm doing open house by invitation only, and the homeowner is not going to be home. How many homeowners, nosy neighbors, do you think are going to show up? They're all going to show up. Now, here's what's brilliant about this. When these people come to the open house, you're not trying to sell them on the house because they're neighbors. So when you take them through, you're building rapport. Oh, thanks for coming. How you doing? Nice to meet you. So you live in the area? Great. Where about? Oh, over there. Good. Do you have this style house? Oh, how long have you lived in the area? What do you like best about the area? Have you ever thought about moving? If you were going to move, where would you move to? When was the last time you had an updated market analysis of your property? Every homeowner should have that done at least once a year, just like you do a physical every once a year. You should do that in your house because it's the most important asset. When I do this, I don't mind. I find the time I come over and I'll give you a market analysis. I can come over tomorrow at 7, or would 6 be better? If you have 100 neighbors coming to this thing over here, you should have at least 50, 60 CMAs. Come on now. This is beautiful. Now, Power Agents at the bottom there, you can't read it. It says this template works with Avery 32. Like we gave you the Avery box number so you can punch in the stuff and print it out on your local printer. So Power Agents, we did that for you. And I'll tell you where that is later. It's in the classroom. All right, continue preparation. Create your open house and flyer and other promotional pieces. This is basic. Oh, here is where it is, gang. If you go again to servicing, so a lot of what I'm teaching is in that tab, servicing. And in there, you'll find templates on promotional flyers for the open house, postcards that we created for you, and you plug in the information. It's so easy to edit. You don't have to learn a new software. We design everything either in Publisher or Microsoft Word. So it's software you already have on your computer. Okay.
PowerPoint.
What'd I say?
Publisher. PowerPoint.
PowerPoint.
Who uses Publisher anymore?
Oh my God. No one uses PowerPoint. I used to use Publisher, Julie.
I used to as well.
Okay, continuing on, boxbrownie.com. Now, Box Brownie, let me tell you what I love about Box Brownie. You see on the left, that's the before picture, and you see it on the right, that's the after. Look what they did. They even put in the courtyard. Do you see it on the court? There's a grill. You don't see how they even put a grill. So this company is incredible. Here's another picture. See over to the left, that's the real house. They obviously like Smurfs. That's weird. So what they did is they took out the Smurfs and they put in a bed. So you can, part of what you may want to do is do virtual photos and images of your property. You can do that on the flyers. You do that on the best. Now, here's one thing, though, I want to say about virtual. When you do something as drastic as this, you should say virtual rendition on the image, because otherwise it's like an integrity issue. Like if somebody goes to the house and they're looking for that bedroom and they're like, what's the Smurf stuff here? So make sure that, now some agents, what they'll do is they do both. They show both before and after. That's another option as well. Be prepared to answer questions. When you're doing an open house, you have to be prepared to answer questions like this. So why is the seller selling? Now, I'm not going to give you the answers right now on this because we're going wide on a whole bunch of things. I'm still on preparation. You need to be prepared. You do not want to sound stupid. Like, let's say, for example, why is the house, why are the sellers selling? And let's say you know that they're going through a divorce and they probably don't want you to share that, right? So this is not how you want to answer. So why are the sellers selling? Well, you know, there's kind of, they're looking, it depends when they find something. So make sure you have an answer that is good for you and approved by the seller. You might say, you know, they're at a point in their life, they're making a change. So, and they're open to where they're going. They haven't decided on that. They want to see what happens on the first year. So if you hesitate with an answer, you're telling the person asking the question that you're not being truthful. So have a clear, concise answer. Here's some other common questions that buyers ask. How long has the house been on the market? I've seen some agents apologize for that. Well, it's been on the market for, 30 days, but that's only because, they weren't really serious, but now they are. Well, I didn't even think that 30 days was bad. Why are you being so defensive about it? So be careful. Have there been any recent improvements or renovations? How much are the utilities? Have they gotten any offer? Have offers been made? Some buyers will ask that when they're touring the house. What are you going to say when they answer that question? When are the sellers planning to close or to move? What does this do, or how does that work? I got to tell you something. I had this happen. Julie, you heard me talk about this, where April and I were looking at houses. We were thinking about making a move, and there was this solarium. Well, not a solarium. I guess maybe it was a sunroom. A sunroom. Thank you. It was a sunroom, and it had thick glass covering it, and so it had these louvers. And I was like, "How do you open the louvers?" Because there was no whatever. And the woman said, "I don't know. Nobody's asked me that." That's what the agent said. Now, I figured it out. It was tied to a thermostat on the wall, and the thermostat, when the room got too hot, based on the thermostat, it automatically opened up the louvers. What a cool feature. The agent didn't know any of that. I had to figure it out. That's not good. You should know the answer. You should know the property, everything inside and outs about it. Here's something that you also need to be prepared on how to deal with, is being familiar with the area. Now, this has been, we've been twisting in the winds in our industry about steering and fair housing laws and da-da-da. People ask about where are the schools, or how are the schools, or stuff like that. And, people are like, "Oh, I can't tell you because it's a fair housing thing." Listen, we need to inform people. So it's totally okay to give sources where they can get that information, right? So U.S. News has best high schools. It's really, it's free. You look, and it really grades schools based on a lot of elements. So you should have that link. You should give it to the buyers when they ask a question about how are the schools compared to that. So Tell them this U.S. News has done a great report comparing schools. Create a frequently asked question sheet. Now, we were talking about those questions a moment ago. What you could do is take those questions and create an answer sheet to it, right? And give that at the open house. Now, Power Agents, we created this Word document for you. You drop in your photo. You can edit the questions. Just here, for example, how old are the appliances? How old is the roof? What type of heating? How much do the utilities run? Yada, yada. These are questions. Create a frequently asked question sheet. Create signage to highlight some of the best features. So when the buyers come into the house, maybe consider having a little billboard of things that have information about the different areas and current listings that you have. Here's an example of another one that shows the schools in the area, listings nearby, stats. So you can have some of the questions that you're concerned about, have the sources actually printed out right there. That'll be easy as well. This is something that we created for Power Agents, gang. It's in the servicing chapter where these little signages that you can put around the house, right? Welcome to our open house. Look around, ask questions. Imagine yourself living here, fall in love, make an offer. That's the steps today. But let me show you this one. For those of you that want to be COVID appropriate, have a little thing on that. There's the mask thing, but let me show you this. Welcome. We are happy to see you here. Oh, there's the mask one. Special house feature. Now, what this one is, and there's a few versions of it, is let's say it's got granite countertops, or let's say it's new appliances, or hardwood floors, real hardwood floors, or 30-year warranty engineer wood. Like having those features put in on the signs and putting them on the little easels that you can buy on Amazon for like nothing, and put the signs in there and put it throughout the house. So they're being like a salesperson for you during this tour. Here's another example of one, a special house feature, new granite countertops. But you edited it. Power Agents, we created for you so you could edit all those. Now, here's an example of an agent using some of what we're talking about. Look around, see yourself, fall in love, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. And here's another one. Thanks for popping by with a little popcorn thing. It's cute. Okay. I wouldn't do that nowadays, though, because the popcorn, the fingers, and COVID, not good. Okay, now, continuing, arrange food with a local vendor for high-end listings or party open house format. So if you have a listing that's going to be a high-end, you want to do an evening thing, you want to serve some food, ask a local vendor, tell them to give you a discount or to sponsor it all together. You'll tell them I'll help drive business to you, to people. There's so many other companies I can work with. I like to drive business to you, and they can actually set up the food if you want. So there's some examples of just putting out a nice spread on some of your high-end listings. Of course, you want to deep clean the house. Some homeowners are concerned still about COVID, and so you should address that and be cool with that. Now, you should create a property brochure flyer with rooms labeled. So this is really so simple and so important to do, gang. So if you have your feature sheet or a brochure of your listing, right, it doesn't take any more effort for you to take your photo, and when it's a bedroom downstairs, say downstairs bedroom. Like put labels on the photos, because sometimes people are looking at the photos, they get confused and overwhelmed. So you want to try and give them a mental tour by labeling, because that could be an upstairs bedroom down. I don't remember where that bedroom was. So it's a silly little thing, but it makes a difference. By the way, I didn't say this. I should tell you all this. I created this webinar. This year, we were looking to move from our current home and buy a new home. We decided to stay and improve. But I wrote this seminar after me as a buyer looking at houses and going to open houses. And so a lot of this is fresh from a buyer's perspective that I was. Have a loan officer create a mortgage payment sheet. Helps promote the loan officer. They're more than happy to do it. Give them, now we created a template for the Power Agents, but have the loan officer create this for you. It's just another value thing to give. Create branded value pieces. So remember, we're using this open house to generate business, not just sell the house. The sell the house is going to be probably a given, but we're using this for other purposes as well. And so what you want to do is have some really valuable pieces that you can give buyers to wow them. keep something in mind. You've got buyers going from open house to open house, and some of them have not hired an agent yet. This is your opportunity to wow them. Also, some of these people are possible sellers. So this is your opportunity to promote you and to land new business. One of the value pieces, let me talk to the power agents for a second. Power agents, one of the incredible pieces that we created for you is the buyer's guide to real estate. Now, who were the power agents that asked for that checklist for the post contract, Julie? Was that our married couple power agents that are on the call?
Bob and Joyce.
Bob and Joyce. I think wasn't it Bob and Joyce that asked for this?
I think so. In the Facebook group?
In the Facebook group, yeah. So one of our power agents, the married couple, Bob and Joyce, I believe, they had asked, hey, do you have a checklist to give to a buyer, telling them, all right, now that you found your house and we've got the offer accepted, what next? That's actually in this guide. So here's the point. This guide, you can actually pull it apart and create several independent pieces or keep it together as a value added when people come. And you can customize this, power agents, or you put your contact information, your phone number. You basically take credit as if you put this thing together, that this is your buyer's guide. And that's how we created this for you. And by the way, power agents, we actually created it too, where you can edit even the sentences. Like if there's a terminology that you use different, because I don't know, you're from Canada and you want to tweak it, there you go. The seller's guide. Now, when you do that neighborhood open house for all the neighbors, the seller's guide, this is powerful. It sells and validates working with a realtor and all the things that are involved in putting a house and putting it on the market and getting it sold. So there's another value added piece. You should have these prepared at your open house. You never know. It's better to have something and not use it than to need it and wish you had it. So the home buyer checklist, here's another little thing to give to the buyers as they come in. The loan application checklist. This is really powerful. The checklist for kids. Now, I've said this. If you've attended my webinars before, you've heard me say this. I'm passionate about young adults. And what I do know, because I've researched this, for children who are moving, it can be traumatic. And the younger they are, it doesn't lessen the trauma. They just don't communicate it because they haven't mastered language yet. So there's stuff. So to help kids in this major life-changing experience, we created some items. This is one of them to make it more of a fun thing for children. So now the other valuable part about this, everybody, is that you're also winning the hearts of the parents by thinking like this and thinking about the children. So we actually, there was a checklist, but we actually created a whole book and that's really goes in depth about how you can help children in this move. I mean, it's not a real big book. Here it is. It's like 23 pages, but it's got some really great tips, really great content, and it's beautifully written and designed. Power Agents, that's another piece for you. Power Agents, let me tell you where you can find this. If you were to go into the classroom and you just type the word move, you will find some of these guides. There's a checklist for the kids, the easy guide for parents, the one for the children. So just type in the word move and you'll find a lot of what I'm talking about. The new homeowner checklist is another value-added piece. First-time home buyer piece. So again, what I'm trying to show you is have customized pieces that when people come to your open house, you can give them. Now, one of the things we're big here at Power Headquarters in the training that we do is that you should never work with a buyer unless they hired you and they signed a buyer agency agreement. If they don't sign a buyer agency agreement with you, they're already telling you up front, I'm not committing to you. And if they're telling you that up front, why would you be more committed to them? So you want to make sure that you get buyers. You want to transform them from customer to client. And that happens when they hire you as their buyer's agent. So make sure you're ready to articulate, maybe give some value-added pieces like this, the 40 things that a buyer's agent does for you. And there's another easy guide. The 184 things a realtor does to earn their commission. This is one, I've got to tell you something. Power agents are loving this. They're telling us that this has such great content in there. It's so valuable. People are actually using it on listing appointments. I think Joanne is actually including it in her reports, her RPR reports. I'm just showing you, gang, when you do an open house, you should have whatever pieces you like that helps promote you and elevates the value and who you are as a real estate professional for these people. By the way, guests, if you decide to do that $5 trial at the end, you're getting that 184 things that you do to earn your commission. And so that's part of one of your bonuses, just a shout out that. All right, so we're doing promotion. Listen, let me stop for a second. Are you guys learning anything? If you are, do me a favor. What do you like so far? I still have 3 more to go. We're going to speed this up. We're more than halfway through. Tell me, what is it that you like that you've learned so far that you want to implement? Throw it in the chat because we actually record the chat. It helps us. We want to know what you're doing, if you like it, if you're getting value. So are you getting some value? Please let me know. All right. Let's talk about promotion. Promotion, social media. So I'm going to tell you how to do some of your social media promotion on the open house. First of all, you want to promote it in a community Facebook page. So wherever your house is, make sure that you're focusing in that community and promoting that open house. All pages, whatever you got, TikTok, Instagram, business page, personal page, yada, yada, put it out there, okay? I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to give you steps. Here's the steps. You're going to do 3 posts. The first post is a few days before the open house. It's coming. Have some photos. Have price information. Come check it out. Some agents do a little video tease tour. I'm going to tell you, one of our power agents, Catherine Rain, #1 agent in the whole state of Florida, Keller Williams, what she did a tour of just the first floor. It didn't do the second floor. It was like, you got to come to the open house to see the rest of this thing. Oh, in the basement, you're going to love it. So she did a little tease, that son of a gun. So a few days before the open house, do a post. It could be video. It could be a flyer. It don't matter. The day before the open house, I'll see you tomorrow, 10 to 12, 10 to 2, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, the day of the open house, do a video tour. And by the way, you can do that little teaser thing there as well. Gang, I'm getting ready for the open house. Look, this is beautiful. Look at the backyard. Bah, bah, bah. And the basement, oh my gosh, it's finished. But you have to come here today to come check it out. Post it in your MLS about the open house. That should be a given. But let me tell you one of the things you should do. You know how you upload into your MLS? And by the way, you have to look at your MLS rules. Some have weird rules. But so when you upload your photos into MLS, have one of the photos be a flyer announcing your open house. Come on, that's a great idea. So there's a tip for you. Door knock flyers and a neighborhood market report certificate. So if you're going to let neighbors know, see, let me tell you how to do this. Boy, oh boy, this is one house we're getting so much business from, because what we're going to do, we get a listing. We're going to do a neighborhood open house. We're going to invite all the neighbors first. I didn't tell you another benefit to that. When you get the neighbors come to the open house, just the neighbors first, and then let's say a week later you do a public open house, now you're not wasting your time with neighbors coming because you already got that out of the way. And any neighbor that should come, you already know they're a neighbor. You're not going to try and sell them on the house. So that's another big, huge benefit of the neighborhood open house first. Now, if you're doing a public open house, after you did the neighbors, you should go to the neighbors, knock on the doors. Hey, Mary. Hey, John. How you doing? Listen, the house that you came, we're doing the public open house this weekend. I just want to let you know. So if you see a lot of cars on the block or a lot of people lined up, don't worry. Don't panic. Everything's okay. We're just doing the open house. So, by the way, come by if you like and say hi. Another thing you can offer the neighbors, whether you do the door knocking or when you do the neighborhood open house, you can have this value added piece saying a neighborhood market report. It's basically a CMA. We like to call it here at Power Headquarters, neighborhood market report certificate. It tells you what the neighbors paid for the home. It tells you what your house is worth. So that's another thing that you can give. Power agents, this is all in the classroom for you that you can customize. Here, Sly broadcast, jot that down. If that Sly, S-L-Y broadcast, to broadcast voicemails to leads, past clients, all that stuff. So how Sly broadcast works, gang, is that you record a message and then it will call all of your cell phones that you upload and leave. It goes right to voicemail. So it doesn't annoy people. Like it's not a spam call. It's getting placed into their voicemail. So their phone never rings, but then they'll get a message. Oh, you have a voicemail. Oh, what's that? I missed a call. Sometimes that happens, right? You miss a call and you listen. So you can record hey, I'm doing an open house. I hope all is well with the family. I'd like to invite you. Email your list. Make sure you use email, of course. Use a raffle to boost attendance if you need to do that. It's another fun thing to do. Work with a mortgage company. Invite other agents who've sold similar homes in the last 12 months to your open house. That's a great thing to do if you got a stale listing. You need some extra help on it. For aggressively priced properties, I said this already. Hold all showings and offers until after the open house, right? So because you want to use that open house to shake the trees and generate, if you can't hold the showings because your MLS won't let you do that, but you can at least put in there all offers will be heard after this date. So you can at least make that clear. Okay, let's talk about the day of the open house. Presentation of the open house. So next thing is get there early, turn all the lights on. Come on, gang. I went to an open house and the agent, you know what the agent was doing as I was walking? I walked into a room and I turned the lights on. The lights were off. And I looked at the house and then after I left the room, what did the agent do? They turned the light back off. Listen, what do builders do? When you see a builder's model home, they have like in one room, they'll have like 50 hi-hats. Why? It's like a jewelry store. Lighting is good. Make sure the bulbs are bright and they're all turned on. Make sure you have a checklist for your open house. What are you going to pack? Do that. Your yard sign, your feather flags, directionals, the sign-in sheets, extra masks. So have a checklist for you. Power Agents, we did this for. Oh, I love this idea. So what I suggest you do is create a video tour of your listing and put it on a jump drive, okay? Now, what you can do is you can record this and have the jump drive, but also, everybody jot that down, qr-code-generator.com. What you can do is you can record a tour of a listing, like your own virtual tour, and put it on a site with a QR code where people scan it, and there's like a virtual open house, if you will. Now, the other thing that I love about this is you can record a front-end video one time. Pick a spot and say, hi, this is Darryl Davis. Thank you so much for coming to my open house. Or you're interested in this house. You're going to see a tour that's going to show you some of the best features of this house. Really love this house. If you have any questions, please contact me. So you record a generic opening of your video. You put it on all your listings on the front end. This company, qr-code-generator.com, they'll house the video for you. They'll create flyers for you, promotional stuff, yada, yada. But putting it also on a jump drive as and you can have these USB flags. Like this is a Remax one there with the little key. You put your own logo on it. I love this idea as something you give to people that come. Now, what I did was I actually recorded the intro video script for you. I'm sorry, not record. I wrote the script for you. So Power Agents, you're going to get a copy of that script. You're getting a copy of the slides today, Power Agents, okay? Stream the open house in the neighborhood closed group. So you could have somebody there with you at the open house with their phone. So you pay somebody to just follow you. So when the open house starts, have somebody just stream with your phone. You're greeting people and you talk into the camera. We're having so much fun here. If you're in the area, come on down. Oh, come on in, Mary. Oh, we're having a party here. Come on in. So now, obviously, if you have nobody at your open house, don't do that because it'll be a boring stream. What else do we got? Have two people manage the open house to you. Yes. Here's what I suggest that you do. You should have, this is Joanne Mills. She has, shout out Joanne. She's on the webinar here. This is a picture of one of her open houses. You know what I love about this? I forget. This is all the neighbors are like, what the heck is going on over at 1010 Hunna Lane? They must be giving away free food. Do you think this is good advertisement for you when you have a line like this? So what I recommend you do when you do an open house is don't do the traditional thing, which is you just let people in. No. One of the things that the pandemic, this is a good thing that came out of the pandemic. One of the things, in my opinion, is you only let people in one couple at a time. It forms a line. You're there doing the tour and you have a greeter. The greeter, while people are waiting on the line, gives people a clipboard. I know you can digitize this. There's digital apps that you can do open house sign-in sheets. I like paper on a clipboard and a pen, and you ask people to fill it out while they're waiting online. This is, you're going to get more honest answers. You're going to get more of these sheets filled out. It creates a buzz waiting line. Love this idea. We created a couple of different ones. I like this one better. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go through this. Power agent, listen, if you're a guest, you should be do the trial at the end, because you're going to get a copy of all the slides. So current power agents, it's on the site for you as well. Make sure make sure seller and pets are away. So not just the pets, make sure the homeowner is not in the house. Right, Joanne? Make sure the homeowner is not home, because they'll get in the way. Remove vehicles from the driveway. Think builder staging. If a builder was going to do an open house, what would they do? They'd have all the lights on. There'd be no smelly sprays. You got to be careful. Some of you, your perfume, come on. Some people are allergic to perfume. Tone it down or don't use it at all. Some people got sensitive nose. I love perfume, but some people hate it. Music, have a nice little thing in the background. Remove personal photos of the homeowners. Put it in the drawer. Tell the homeowner that. It's on the checklist that I showed earlier. Lock up the valuables. One of the open houses I went to, I don't know what happened. I swear to God. Put the valuables away. It was a kitchen. It was a kitchen, and there was how some kitchens have a computer area where you can do some work or whatever. I don't know why. I opened up the drawer. I don't know why. I was in the kitchen. I opened up the drawer, and hundreds of dollars of bills popped out. I had to stuff it back in. I was so embarrassed. I went back for a second tour. Do you know what I did? I opened up that damn same drawer again. It was like, I don't know what happened. I didn't even think. It just happened. Fine china. Put the fine china out. Nice bedding. Stuff like that. Okay, preparation. Let's continue. Stock the fridge for vacant properties. If you're in one of these hot areas, stock it up with water and stuff. Some areas, depending on when you're doing it, this is a good idea, especially if it's vacant. Put away your phone. I've gone into open houses where agents were actually texting. I know it's business, but the customer, they don't know you're doing business. It's disrespectful. Put your phone down during the open house, please. Have one neighborhood report to encourage them to request it. So one of the things you can do is have a report about the neighborhood. RPR is a great resource, generates a great report. Don't make copies of it. Have one, and if a buyer has questions and you're showing the report and they say, oh, I would like that, say, do me a favor, do I have your email? Let me get your email, and I'll make sure I email it to you. That's another way to get that information. There's an example of the RPR. This is a free report for realtors. You have access to it. Realtors Property Resource. If you don't know about it, learn about it. We did a training for our power agents. Power agents, if you go to Webinars on Demand, we hired some of the key folks over at RPR, and we did a webinar, Reaching Your Next Level, using the Realtors Property Resource tool, because we're so passionate. It's free as a realtor, and I'm surprised a lot of realtors don't know about it. Be safe at your open house. I don't care if you're a lady or a guy. There's been plenty of statistics where men also, you'll be surprised on how many of them bad things happen in open house. So one of the things I did is I researched, these medical things that for older people, they fall and I can't get up. It's actually not a bad idea to use that as a security thing for yourself as well. Some iPhones make it easy for you. If you know how to use it and press it, you can send out a 911 call. Medical Guardian has a watch. It looks like a regular watch. You can put that watch on during the webinar. You press a little red button on the side if something bad should happen to you. There's I researched some things, and power agents, you'll get a copy of all these sites so you can look into it on your own and decide. I think it's a good idea. It's worth the small dollar investment. This Bay Alarm Medical is another good one as well. Okay. Make believe you're being recorded when showing the house, because you may be. And some homeowners, they have cameras. So be careful. Don't be saying stuff like, I know the house smells really bad, but don't worry. When you move in as the buyer, you can fumigate it. Don't say that. Hire a drone company to fly a banner in the neighborhood. Remember I talked about the signs that I used to put out? My team, my company made us number one. We didn't have drones back then. If I were running a real estate company now, I would hire a drone company and I would pay to have open house with an arrow pointing down, having that up. Do you know how many? Forget those signs that I talked about earlier. I get the feather flags, get that? And then this drone pointing people flying all over the town. Forget about it. People are going to come. They're going to run to your open house. Here's another one. Now, I found this. Don't do this because this is a little scary. But if you want to put like you as a realtor hanging up in the air, a mannequin, you can do that. Maybe it's fun. Put a realtor shirt on, pointing, but it's headless, so it's a little scary there. Maybe it's good for Halloween. Okay. Presentation. Ask discovery questions when you're showing the house. Like, what brings you folks in today? How long have you been looking for a house? Have you made any offers yet? What do you plan on doing with your current home? Do you have any representation? Yada, yada. So I'm running out of time. So gang, again, if you're a power agent, you're getting these questions. If you're a guest, $5, you should, it's just to get that, if nothing else. The post open house, here we go. Send a text if the house didn't work for them and that you have other houses that might be of interest to them. So here's an example. Hello, Hannah. Thanks for stopping by on Sunday. I want to check in and ask if you had any questions about the 1010 Hannah Lane. Also, I thought I'd share a few other similar properties for sale in the area. Be happy to set up appointments for you. This is a great text. A great text because it applies to a bunch of different things. Glad I met you. Here's another example. So anyway, sending a text, you should send a text to everybody that's walked in your house. Power agents, if you go to buyers, you will find in the buyers, there is prospecting text. That's the file right there for you. We put it in a Word document so it's easier for you to copy and paste it. Power agents. Send a text if the house didn't work. We just said that. Next thing, use multiple offer spreadsheets if necessary. If you get several offers on that house at an open house, you want to put together a spreadsheet. I'll show you that in a second. Now, power agents, we created a guide for you to give to buyers and give to sellers in multiple offer situation. It helps prepare them for, because it can be disappointing for the buyers if they don't win, and for the seller, you don't want them getting greedy. So this kind of is something that you take credit for. You give this to your customer to explain the process. The spreadsheet I was talking about is something also power agents created for you, is to show the seller that it's not just the price we have to look at. There's other things we have to look at. We have to look at closing date. We have to look at the contingencies, how much money they're putting down, the qualifications. So having a spreadsheet and sitting with your seller to really look at all of the facts, really, power agents have told us has really helped them in multiple offer situation to coach their sellers in making good decisions. Oh, the guest, yes, we're giving you that as well when you sign up today for the $5. So you're going to get that as well. Okay. Follow-up calls to everyone. So make sure you follow up every person that came to your open house. Give them a call and say, hey, the reason why I was calling, thank you so much for stopping by. If you remember, it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. So every buyer that comes to your open house, you should send them a text and do a follow-up call. And also, when you do that follow-up call, you want to make sure they come into the office or to meet somewhere for you to go over the 6-step buying process, which is designed to help them find the right house with the least amount of aggravation. And power agents, the 6-step buying process is part of your training as well. Okay, last thing I want to share with you, and then I have gifts to give everybody. I want to talk about that, is when you do get a buyer's agent agreement from a buyer after this open house, you want to give them some kind of certificate. Because part of what we teach power agents is that when you have a buyer, sometimes they're going to look at houses on their own. They may go to other open houses, which is good. They can do that. But when they go to an open house, let's say with another agent, after they hired you, and they go into that agent's open house, they should give to that agent, say, hey, listen, I'm working with Darryl. He's our agent. He told me to give us just to let you know, and we were in the area, if that's okay. And they listen, sure, that'd be fine. So what's cool about this, it's the same concept. It's like when you're married and you're at a bar and somebody, hey, how you doing? It's like, so this becomes like the power of the ring. Don't talk to me. I'm taken. Okay. So that's it. So that's what we covered. Now, the guest power, here's what we're going to do. Do me a favor, Power Agents, I want you to shout out the things that you've been getting out of this and what you think about the program. For the guests, I want you to hang in there because I'm going to give you this gift now. You have to see this. First of all, the Power program is a month-to-month coaching program. You can come and go whenever you want, but as a guest, you can actually participate for $5 and you get no restriction. You get entire access to everything. I'm going to go through what that is. Cancel anytime, and the bonuses are off the hook that you're going to get today. Real quick, and I'll do this in basically 60 seconds. The Power program, every Monday, we do coaching calls with the Power Agents. It's not like the webinar. With the coaching calls, you can talk to me. I can role play with you. We say they're an hour, but they actually go more than 2 hours. We record those calls so you can listen to them later. Sean, one of our Power Agents, said, I don't make a penny off endorsing the program. I was very skeptical in the beginning. The $5 drew me in, but I cannot spend a better $47 a month being coached by a knowledgeable, ethical coach, which I appreciate him saying that. The value that you get on the program is tremendous. But you know what? You don't have to commit to 47. Guess, just commit to $5 right now, because if you don't like the program, then that's all it costs you. But for $5, you're going to get these bonuses. But I hope that you're going to learn more about my company and how we serve and help agents. Every webinar we do is recorded, and so you can look at them. We have over 75 trainings that you have access to. The closed Facebook group is awesome. The brainstorming, it's not like some of the big groups out there in our industry where there's a negativity. I've been seeing some really popular Facebook groups where like new agents will ask a question and then all these people attack the agent because they thought it was a stupid question. It's really bad. That's not like here, man. We attract a type of agent that cares about helping people, and it's a wonderful thing. We're very proud of what we have. Power Agent website is awesome. Let me show you this. When you go to your dashboard, there is this thing called Classroom. When you click on Classroom, there's all these areas of real estate that we need to get good at. For example, you'll see buyers. I'm going to jump over to the second line. It says farming and self-promotion. There's also listing, appointment, prospecting. So let's say you need help with farming and you click on farming. That will bring you to this page, which is loaded with hundreds of forms and flyers and checklists that you can customize. There's literally over 500 pieces in the site for you. There's a favorite tab. So if you tab something as a favorite, that will go in a separate folder that's just for you and it's your personal favorites. If you type in, let's say, the word FSBO, it'll search the entire website for anything that's related to FSBOs, whether it's the FSBO dialogue or it's training or there's infographic, promotional pieces to FSBOs. Here's the bonuses that you get today. Is if you decide you want to try this for the $5, you can actually get a copy of a listing appointment that you can customize. It's 100 slides. It's a PowerPoint. And by the way, you get to keep all these bonuses. There's a recording on how to list for Southbound owners. There is a breakthrough business plan to help you get ready for 2022. It's 43 pages because there's 3 business plans in one. There is how to generate a plan for now business, how to generate future business, and then how to generate financial freedom. So we go through all those. If you're a new agent or experienced agent looking to restart your business, we have a 29-page starter kit for you on how to get your business up and running or running again. Our 12 best dialogues that Power Agents love, like calling FSBOs expired, voicemail dialogue for a FSBO, door knocking dialogue, the 184 ways you earn your commission, which is just, we're really proud of that. There is the what we talked about earlier is that e-guide that you give to a buyer or to a seller to explain to them what to do in multiple offers, a spreadsheet that goes with that as well. Plus, if you get a copy of today's slides, if you'll get a copy of this recording and have access to all the recordings, and a CRM, if you need a CRM, 30 days of that as well. Everything valued here is almost $1,900, but hey, you get it for $5 today. And that's about it. So what we're going to do is if you want to become a Power Agent and get all these bonuses and then check us out during this month, you just have to click on that thing that's floating there on your screen, and that'll bring you to the page where you can continue your enrollment. In the meantime, I'm going to now answer questions. So if you have a question about anything, whether we covered it today or question in your business, we are going to stay on the call now as long as we need to until everybody gets their question answered. So with that said, Julie's going to read your question. There you go, Jules.
Well, awesome. Take a deep breath.
Yeah, I didn't take one that whole time. That was
I don't think you did. You're like an auctioneer almost. There was a lot to cover in an hour. Linda says she lives in Palm Springs. Almost everything is a gated community. What do you do then?
Well, I said that would be a suggestion. Like that would be a good thing if you can. In your case, you can't not do it, right? So there you go. So just don't worry about it. Especially, listen, gated communities are not bad. It's just, as you know, it just is another barrier for people to come in that's not part of the community. If I were going to make a suggestion, is if there is a way that they can suspend the gated portion where they just lift the gate up during the 2 hours of you doing the open house, if you can ask the president or the commit or the association if that's good for the. Here's how I would sell it. I would say to the association, saying, what the more people that want to buy in here, the more that drives the value of the home, which works for everybody. So to make real estate successful for everybody, we want to remove the roadblocks. So if it's okay, if we can, lift the gate up during the 2 hours to make it easy for people to enter for the open house, that would be really good. It would benefit everybody. So that's what I would say there. Next question, Julie.
Yes. If a deal falls through, should an open house be done immediately?
Yeah. I would, yes, you can say back on the market, which is totally fine. People recognize that's happened more in the past year, that deals have fallen through, but people have had buyer remorse. Make it a positive thing. Back on the market. Yep. Don't miss out. This is your one shot to get an incredible house, yada, yada. And yes, I would do a public open house right away.
What do you think of doing a commuter open house? And if so, which day of the week is best for that?
What is that? What do you mean, Lillian, by a commuter?
A commuter open house is where you do them like in the evenings as people are on their way home from work.
Okay. Yeah, those are those are hit and miss. Sometimes they're really good. Sometimes they're not good. So usually people that I don't think it's a great one. I think it's better to just do it on the weekends as opposed to an evening one. So me personally, I wouldn't do it.
Awesome. Do you recommend having one brochure and then offering to drop it off or send a PDF? It wouldn't be practical to have that many printed pieces. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Marianne, great question. So first of all, if you're a power agent, we have so many value pieces that you can customize, put your photo in and use. So what you should do is pick just one or two that you like and then see how it goes. If you don't want to print out that many because that's so much, then yeah, maybe what you do is you just have one. And when people come, you can show them. What I like to do is I have this report and flip through it and kind of tease them. So I'd like to email you a PDF of this. Do I have your correct email? Or is there another email that you want to use? So yeah, so you can decide. That works as well.
I think Catherine was saying she uses like our open house signs, but she uses a QR code to get the buyer's guide, to get the seller's guide. She puts it on one of those signs as well, like the plastic frames with a QR code. So that's another idea. Gotcha.
Okay. Yep. That's a good idea too. Putting the QR code in those signs. Yep. And then, yep. Next question, Julie.
What do you do if the homeowners won't allow you to do an open house?
Well, you can try and encourage that homeowner to let them know. Listen, if you're, how it works is, the more buyers, how you sell at the highest possible price is you have people fighting for it, right? So that means more buyers. How you do more buyers is more exposure, and how do you do that is marketing tools. So I have a plethora of tools. I have the yard sign, I have the MLS, I have the flyers, I have the lockbox, and one of them is open house. If you decide to take away one of those marketing tools, that just makes it harder for you to sell at the highest possible price. So I say it would probably cost you thousands of dollars. So if you're okay with, selling maybe for a few $1,000s less than what we're hoping for, then yeah, that makes sense. But if you want to sell it for a few few $1,000s more than what we're hoping, then you want to create more demand, and an open house in this market is the best way to do that. So, but it's your choice.
Good dialogue.
What I'll tell you, gang, is that, you know, and for the guests especially, but power agents, you should have heard me say this before, is your job with all of your clients, whether it's a buyer or a seller, your job is not to tell them what to do, but it's to coach them. And what a coach does is it empowers people to make their own choice. Now, what you have to do is you have to give them the choices, and you have to clarify the choices, and you have to explain, if you choose this, here's the benefit or the cost, and the same thing. But ultimately, they're the boss. Let them choose. If you take that mentality, you'll feel less stress about saying the right thing or giving the perfect advice. Don't worry about that. Just your job is to lift the cloud of confusion for people so they can be empowered to choose. That's what a power agent does. Next question, Julie.
Yes, Karen and Bruce kind of have the same question. A great presentation, both brand new power agents. Where will they find the recording and the slides after this? So, because they just can't take notes fast enough.
Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, gang, when we do some of these webinars like this one, I go overboard and I give you more than you can probably absorb in the one time. So I'll answer that question. I just want to show everybody, when I said about customizing value pieces, I just opened up this buyer certificate, and you can edit and change the verbiage. You put your photo, so everything that we created for you, you can customize. And I'm just going to go back to the one more thing. Like, remember the buyer's guide? You see, oh, by the way, some of them are in Spanish. So
that's right.
A lot of what we created as well, if your clientele or your market is Spanish, anything that Spanish speaking is, we also have Spanish versions of everything. Okay, now this, even the ad, here's a social media ad that we have, but the buyer's guide is going to take a long time to download because it's a big file. So I'll let that continue to download while I answer your question, Julie. Oh, by the way, this search function, if you type in guide, not enough power agents are using the search function. Anything that's a guide, there's the parking lot party guide, there's the Halloween trunk or treat guide.
Oh, you should open that. We actually had a question about that earlier because they saw it on Facebook, the trunk or treat.
Okay. All right, I'll open up that guide as well. But so they're downloading right now. But so, gang, power agents, make sure you use that search function. If FSBO, buyer, like, you know, you'll find things so much easier when you do that. Here is the buyer's guide. I didn't finish answering your question, Julie. Okay. So it's about the webinar. So I'll do that in a second. Here is the buyer's guide. Now, I'm just going to show you the index. Understanding the housing market. Pre-purchase preparation. Are you ready to buy? Pre-approval for market. Let the house hunting begin. What to look for. Virtual viewings. Now, once you find the house and close in the deal, what do you have to do? Home inspection, finance. But this thing is 35 pages long. And once again, let me just show you something. If, let's say, you don't like this bullet that we just wrote, here, watch, Bing, I just deleted. You want to change it? You want to reword it? So this can all be customized. These are really beautiful pieces. And power agents, you put your contact information on the bottom. Now, look, here's an example of what I said. Here's one page that I can just probably print out and use as a social media post. I can use it as a mailing thing. So a lot of these guides, because there's so many pages and great these are newsletters, e-newsletters, emails that you can, there's so much. I'm just showing you one. This is one piece. There's 600.
Exactly.
So you are never, there's a checklist. Let's just print that out. 2 weeks prior checklist. 1 week, day of moving, bop, 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 bop. Okay. So there's that. And there's you dropping your photo and your handle. Okay. Now let's go to your question, Julie. Give me a second, gang. Sorry. Oh, I do want to, I'm going to open up the trunk or treat. And I'm sorry, Julie. Let's do that. And then I'm going to answer that question about the webinar. So, gang, what we did is we created this plan about trunk or treat. Instead of door knocking, what would happen is you can tell the neighbors. I'm trying to find an example. I don't think we have pictures in here. You know what, Julie? We should actually have pictures in here. You know how we have some pictures from the slide? Like this is, we should probably have a few more pictures. I don't know if you guys can see it here, but this is a parking lot. All the neighbors are in a parking lot, and you tell the neighbors, decorate your trunk, and we're going to have the kids at the parking lot. It's an event, and they're going to go from car to car instead of going door to door. Now, what's really cool about this is like it's shooting fish in a bowl, right? That all of your farm area is in one parking lot. You get to meet and greet. It's outdoors. It's COVID safe. But there's so many good things about it. So what we did was we created this campaign or this guide, this book on how to hold a trunk or treat event, even with flyers that you can customize and promote it, and explains how to use it. This is perhaps a better view of it. There's checklists, there's letters in here. So anyway, that's the guide with that. Anyway, love that. Now, let's go to your question, Julie. Classroom. If you go to this training, if you go to webinars on demand, when you go to webinars on demand, the most recent event that we did is the first one. So last week we did how to use the Power Builder CRM. A few days before that, we did the telephone webinar on how to master the dialogue of calling FSBOs and expires and da-da-da.
That was awesome.
Anyway, what's that, Julie?
I said that was awesome.
Yeah, so what happens if you click on that webinar, here's what happens, this is what it looks like. Here's the recording of the webinar, along with a copy of my slides for the Power Agents. So every training session where there's a handout, you'll be able to download. This is a really good one, the Zillow one. And anyway, so that should answer that question. Next question, Julie.
Yes, I have a large $2.6 million listing and getting no leads from social media. What should I do?
Oh, Keith, wow. So let's take a look at something. So this is an example, Keith. Let's say you're a Power Agent. I don't know if you are, but I'm going to go to something like that would be servicing listings, right? So once you get a listing, how do you service it? How do you sell it? How do you take care of the client? So when you go to servicing, I'm like, all right, I got this listing. It's not selling. What should I do? Well, here you go. Here's so social media is not working, right? Eight great ways to jumpstart a stalled listing. So let me just take a look at that, Keith, and see what that checklist tells me. So I'm going to open up that file. Lower the price, raise the selling broker's commission, check your photos, make sure they're good quality, that you've labeled the photos correctly, check your description, the MLS. I will tell you, what was his name? You already cleared the post. It was Keith, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it was 2.6?
Yep, 2.6 million.
Yeah. So what I would do, Keith, 2.6 is not a good list price. You want to know why? If you go to Zillow, you go to Realtor.com, I'll bet you 2.6 is not one of the drop-down choices. You know when the drop-down choice is 2.5. So me personally, I would have that thing listed at 2.5. I drop it 100,000. Here's what we do know. It's not worth 2.6 because nobody's participating in it. When it's 2.5, watch what happens. People who sit down at the computer and say, let me see everything that's 2.2 and 2.5, your listing will show up. 2.5 to 2.75, that your listing will show up. You'll actually, so rounding off your list price based on search drop-down menus will also get you more hits. That's my suggestion. Next question, Julie.
Yes, you mentioned earlier the directory. How do I get to that?
When you go to dashboard, that's another way to do it. So Classroom has everything, but if you go to dashboard and then I go to directory of Power Agents, that's where it is. Now you see, here's some agents, they didn't put in their stuff, which is, to me, that's a no-no.
Missed opportunity, right?
Missed opportunity. If I'm looking for an agent in Georgetown, Texas, I'm going to click on Al because at least he has a photo. And when I click on him, let me see what he says. Look at that. He filled out his bio. He's got a tagline mission. What does he speak? He speaks English. Good. Here's the areas that he served, right? So this is, and when you're logged in to the directory, so if I go back here at the top, it says update my directory profiles. So once the main page of the directory, there's that link. I'm logged in under Sarah's username right now. And that's how you update your directory.
And there's referrals being given every week. So don't miss that
Crazy.
opportunity.
I'm going to tell you something. Listen, Power Agents, We did not expect the directory to blow up the way it has, and it'd be really smart for you to fill it out, because there are power agents making a ton of money from it. We're actually planning on our next level is that we're going to make it available to civilians and start telling homeowners and buyers, listen, if you're going to hire an agent, make sure they're a power agent. Here's the directory. So that's going to be 2.0 on the directory. There's a tab that we have here for you guys. We have a great team that they're very responsive. There's real human beings. You can get access to us. You can call us. Our phone number is right there. I hate these companies that don't make it easy to get in touch with them. So we're easy to get in touch with. So, okay, next question, Julie.
Good. The chat was one of my questions. So thank you. How do I get a hold of you afterwards? If you are a past power agent and you are looking to reconnect, you can hit that chat button as well. And we'll make sure that someone helps you with that as well. So thanks for showing that.
Yep.
Jimmy says, located in rural Virginia, it's very difficult to get people to attend an open house. We've done them and have no attendance, or have one or two. Do you have any suggestions for a rural area?
Jimmy, everything that I said on this webinar are things that you can do. So, here's anything more than that. I mean, what I gave would apply to rural or a big city or whatever suburbs. So just to show you, this is what I just taught in the past hour. So I'm sure there's some really good stuff in here that might answer that question for you.
We actually had a power agent earlier that said they did the neighborhood open house and that it was amazing. Like they had never done that before, and they had tremendous traffic, lots of turnout, and she got leads from it. So that was fantastic.
Awesome.
How do you recommend getting people to sign in? I think you covered that earlier. Yes.
To sign in,
you like the sign in paper as opposed to.
Yeah, I'm assuming the sign in he means at an open house. So how to get people to sign in at the open house? So what I recommend that you do is do it with more than one agent, right? Where did I teach that? I made it so small I can't seem to find it. But there, give me a second, Andrew. There is a sign-in sheet that I recommend that you do. Here it is.
There it is.
What you want to do is you want to have create a line. So don't let people in just one at a time, or families, one family at a time. So you should have a greeter that's talking to people outside. So we have one agent that stays outside with people, and part of what they do is give them a clipboard with the sign-in sheet. And, if you're standing there and people are filling out, people are standing there, they're going to fill it out, because once they're in the house, there's more likelihood they won't fill it out. They almost subconsciously think this is their ticket to administer and getting them, allowing them in. Mm-hmm. So that's how you do that. Next question.
Awesome. Janet actually took a picture like the one from Joanne of the open house, and She texted it out to her sphere, and she got a lead that way.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh. Yeah. So what you can do, what Julie's saying is that if you have a really awesome open house, you have a line like that, you should take a photo of it and you should use that and promote that, right? Saying, I'm at this open house, look at this turnout. If you put it in your email saying, I'm so happy I had the opportunity to do an open house at 1010 Hana. We had an incredible turnout. Yeah.
Darryl, what time are the coaching calls?
Coaching calls are at 11 o'clock Eastern time, and they're slotted till 12, but we stay usually till 1. I think one time we even were past 1 o'clock. So
we did. We had a marathon one. Is there a contract?
No contract. This is a month-to-month coaching program, so you can cancel anytime. So
awesome. Lori says, I have a listing and I've done an open house the last 3 weekends, advertising online a week in advance and only 1 or 2 per week. Any suggestions to get more people to come? Neighborhood does not have a lot of traffic. I put up 8 open house signs each week. So I think just go back and revisit the things you've taught today, right? Yeah,
Lori, I would revisit. See, like you put out 8 signs and with balloons. So I'm guessing, Lori, that what you put out with those easel signs and they don't work. And the reason why they don't work is because you can't see them until, and even with the balloons, that you don't see it until you're right on top of it. The reason why our company created those signs and why our policy was to put out 10 is because these signs were not hung. Now Liz is short. She is, and she kind of cheated. Like we had a staple hammer where you wouldn't have to squeeze the stapler. It's a hammer, and it shoots out a staple. And the idea is you should hang it above your head on that pole. And the reason why is because when it's up high, 40, 50 feet away, going 40 miles an hour, it'll be eye level. And so the balloons, like if you're going 30 miles an hour, it says open house, there's not enough time to turn. You've already passed it. And that's why those signs really don't work. This works. Okay. Next question.
When you sign up for the trial, how long will it take you to have access to everything?
Sarah, how long does it take?
It takes about maybe 5 minutes for the email to come through, and then you have access.
So if you guys click on that little floating bubble there, you'll go and fill out that form. Bada bing, 5 minutes, you'll have access.
You'll have all your login credentials, and then everything that you've shown today, plus hundreds more, right?
Right. What'll happen is you'll get an email. So for the guests, we do take care of the guests in this regard, because you're going to get an email with these bonuses right away. Now, Power Agents, your bonuses are in the program for you. Good chance you were emailed these as well, but it's all there for you.
Terrific. Do you still hold open houses when a property is under contract?
Yeah, because you can do that for sure. So, what you may want to do is explain it to the agent, the selling agent. So they can explain to their buyers that how you're working with your sellers is that until it goes to closing, we're still making the house available for people to see. Sometimes deals fall apart. What's good about doing an open house while it's in contract, it holds the buyer committed, because they're afraid that is the seller going to change their mind? Why are they still? They know you're going to do it, but it keeps their level of commitment much higher when you continue. So I think it's a good strategy to always keep advertising and doing open houses, even on listings in contract.
Darryl, where do I find the multiple offer guide?
So the multiple offer guide, you're going to get it emailed for the guests. If you're an existing Power Agent, how you would find it. Well, just think of where multiple offers would be. If you were classroom, right? What topic would be offers, right? Negotiating. So if I go to negotiating offers, then I'm going to find the multiple offer tracking sheet is right there. I click on that. It's an Excel file that you can download, and then you open it up, and it'll be filled out with examples, so you'll understand how to do it. And when you make changes to something, it'll change the other numbers, and then you can customize it, put your logo, and do whatever you want with it.
I just saw Loanopoly. That's a great thing to have at your open house, because it really makes it family fun and family friendly. And it's different. So it's not just a spec sheet. It's not just a checklist. It's something that is definitely going to be different than any other agents have in your market area.
Yeah. So this explains to a buyer what's involved in from the buyer side on how to, when they find a house and go to contract, with all the steps. And again, this is something that you can customize. It says right there, put your contact information in there. Also, what we did, if let's say you don't like some of the terms that we did, you can edit all this as well. So you can actually edit the Monopoly board however you want to do it. I'm moving it, but that's text that you can actually edit, okay? And then this is where you put your contact information, and you can drop your photo in here, So
that's one of my favorites. And we have a Sellopoly as well that you would use for sellers. So same thing, it's something just to have a lot of fun. It's very family friendly. Jason says, does the Power Agent CRM sync with Zillow'S CRM for premier agents?
Well, I'm going to say two things about that, Jason. Number one is I'm not sure, actually. So the CRM, the Power Builder CRM that we had written by Exact Contact. So that's the engine in ours. Now, ours is actually cheaper. Like if you go to Exact Contact directly It costs more monthly than what we negotiated for power agents. So it's the same software, exact same software, but less, plus any of the letters, emails, stuff like that are in the Power Builder as well. So you don't have to retype or upload the content that we have, the newsletters for emails. So that's really awesome. That's number one. So I don't know if Premier Agent syncs with Power Builder, but what would happen is you can, when you sign up and you become Power Agent, if you're considering doing that, you can simply, we'll give you the phone number to call the power line for Power Builder, and they'll be able to help you with that. You get 30 days free with that. The second thing I'll also say, Jason, is we did a webinar. Sorry about that. We did a webinar on Zillow now being a real estate broker. They're no longer just a media company. And we think it's really bad business for agents to give money to Zillow because they're your competitor now. And they're still teasing you, enticing you by giving you leads. But you're actually, that'd be like if you were a Keller Williams agent giving money to Remax to promote you and to give you leads. It's just not a good idea. So I did a whole webinar on that. So, okay.
We saw onboarding earlier. What was that for?
Okay, classroom. So if I go to Power Agent onboarding, so if you're a new Power Agent, so that was classroom Power Agent. By the way, if you all want to know what Julie looks like, the voice, that's her. And what we did is our team, I got to tell you, specifically Sarah, who's popped on the call a couple of times. Sarah has been working so hard this whole year, but especially this past week. This is her thing along with Julie. And what it is for new Power Agents, it goes through how to get access to all of the great content that's in the Power Program website for you. Not just the website, the whole training. So it gives you suggestions on things to do. And as you do it, you check it off and you get points. It actually will bring you to, if I click on download the daily activity tracker for time management, well, if I click on that, it'll actually do it for me. So instead of me trying to find that form that's in the classroom, it just downloaded it for me, and there it is. So it's really great.
Pieces in the whole classroom.
So if you're a new Power Agent, we're going to highly recommend that you check out and go through this. So it's like a little, it's called onboarding, right? So it onboards, that's the term in the tech world. When you have a new customer, how do you get them acclimated to your company? That's called onboarding. And so this is our onboarding for you. And it's really super useful.
Wonderful. Michelle just joined last week. Loving the training. Needs to go through the modules. Welcome, Michelle. We're so glad you're here. What's nice about these modules is it really walks you through without feeling like it's overwhelmed. There's so much in the classroom. I actually spoke with the Power Agent yesterday who feels like a whole new agent. She's been in the business for years and really hasn't made her mark. And this really helped her put some great practices, foundation practices in place every week and every day. So
yeah. So let me just tell you the two things to echo what Julie said, but let me just address this really quick. These two grade ones is because this is new. We've just finished. Sarah is got to finish these last two modules. So so that's what those are, and those will probably be ready in the next 2 weeks. Now, with that said, what Julie was just saying, the reason why we did this as well is because there is so much content in the Power Program. There's the weekly training sessions. There's the coaching calls on Monday. There's the Tech Tuesday where we go through the technology of the site itself as well. There's so much. And sometimes agents can get overwhelmed because they think they have to learn everything because they're excited in the first week. And you can't. This is, if you give us a year, we'll give you a career. It takes time. You know, think about this. If you improve your skill and ability by just 10% a month, that's 120% increase in a year. You know, our Power Agents, this program is based on my best-selling book, which Julie talked about, and I'll just jump over to that in a minute. Some of you have read the book. If you become Power Agent, you really don't need the book. this book is a little dated because I wrote it back in 1993. So there isn't any tech in there, but about listing and selling, what to say, when to say, and how to say it when you're belly to belly, face to face with a buyer or seller. It's really super valuable. It's still valuable. But this book came from the original training program where I trained individually agents for a full year, once a month. So the concept is if you just improve your skill and ability by 10%, that's it. That's how you double your income. So don't get overwhelmed. So the punchline, what I'm trying to say is that do not get overwhelmed with this thinking you have to do everything in the 30-day trial or in the first week. This is a process. You hang in there with us and you will double your income.
You will. Is Power Agent coaching one-on-one or a group training?
It's group training, Lucy. So at $47 a month, there's no way that we can do one-on-one. We don't have trainers to even make it an option. We do have some of you might have heard a VIP Power Agent. What a VIP Power Agent is somebody who's being coached personally by me. And I only take on a handful of those people, and we don't have any spots available right now. But this is a group experience.
What we can say too, Lucy, is that it's not a talk at you coaching call. So it's very interactive. We're problem solving on the fly. We're celebrating wins with each other. We're going through what people are facing and making it a coaching moment for everybody. It's awesome. You get to take yourself off mute. It's very different than what Darryl makes it just extraordinary for people. These trainings every Wednesday is just one component of a bigger picture, and this one component is the most disconnected because I'm talking at you, you're sitting there listening, you type in a question, but the rest of the program, it's more engaging for everybody. So, Darryl, can you please show the calendar, the something to do every day so people know they have something to stay on track?
Yeah. And if Sarah, I don't know if you refresh that pop-up thing if it's time, if it's not, that's fine. But so what we did is, or what Julie creates every time is this calendar every month. So there's two calendars I'll show you. This calendar goes through as it's loading, and then we're going to go to this one as well. And then if we have no more questions, you're welcome very much, Lucy. If after this, we're going to say our closing thing for everybody. But so what this calendar is, every month we create, like if you just did one thing to improve your business, what's that one suggestion? So these are daily suggestions, like this is a door knocking thing, reach out to 15 people in your sphere, use the expired voicemail dialogue for calling expired. So we do this every month for you guys. We post it at the beginning of the month. We email it to you. But there's also a weekly calendar we create too. So we have just the weekly version of it. But my favorite part is what are the top 3 things you're going to do for the week? Because sometimes we can get overwhelmed and we're doing stuff. We don't feel like we accomplish anything. So these would be your big rocks. Like I'm going to make sure I do these 3 big rocks things. And that's it. So there's, like I said, there is so much depth to this program. And we hope that you decide. So Nina just said, I just signed up for the trial and I'm onboarding now.
Not even wait for the webinar to be over. I love it, Nina. Welcome.
That's great, Nina. Congratulations. So that's so great. So, oh, wait, there is one other thing, Nina, I'm going to show you and everybody else. Hang on a second. I got to show Nina this. I'd show everybody this because she's a new person. It reminded me about that new New York Queens Power Agent, Julie. Where is the brainstorming session? Is that
webinars on demand?
Okay, listen, I got to show you this, guys. So every so often, we do it like once a quarter. We do these brainstorming sessions. So there's one from November. But let me see where we have webinars by Darryl. We have a separate section. Should we have a separate section? No.
Go up.
Go up. Okay. So I thought Sarah, I thought we broke it out as guest speakers and brainstorming as well. Didn't we do that, Sarah?
We did, but then we decided to combine them. But I am in the process of breaking them out again.
Okay, good.
So, bit of a different layout.
Okay, so where is the brainstorming one, Julie?
I'm waiting for you to get to it. It was there yesterday.
All right. Oh, there it is. Okay.
There it is. Okay.
So we just did this in August, brainstorming session number 6. So the date is August 19th. Everybody make a mental note of that. Because it's sorted, by the way. I do want to say these are sorted by date, right? So I was scrolling too fast. So August 19th, brainstorming. And this, unfortunately, we got a screenshot where nobody's smiling. That was... Anyway, this session was so awesome. It was like 2 hours. We had how many pages, Julie?
Well, the transcript started at like 186.
So what Julie did, she painstakingly went through the transcript and she pulled out and created a 13-page book with the 60 most powerful ideas. I got to tell you something. These 60 ideas over here is worth $47 a month times 12 by itself.
Mm-hmm.
The ideas I came out of this brainstorming is just off the hook awesome. Now, you can watch the video for 2 hours, but man, you just download this book, bada bing, and it has the hyperlinks to anything that we can hyperlink for you, and it's really, really impressive. So anyway, that came out of that, and we do that every quarter with Power Agents. It's really awesome. So, all right.
It really makes people feel like they're not alone. They don't have to reinvent any wheels, right? So I love that. Chatty says they're joining and wants to know if agents in Tucson. Chatty, once you join in, make sure you put your information in that directory. You'll find that in your dashboard or in the classroom. And you can look for Tucson, so you can proactively look for people in your market.
Yeah. So now watch this. If you do Cindy, now I hope. How do I spell Tucson? I always mess it up.
CSON.
S-O-I. See? Okay. I did it wrong. Okay, watch this. I get dyslexic with the S and the C. Now, I don't know how many we have in Tucson. Let me see. And this may not be extremely accurate. So there you go.
There you go.
Then we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Power Agents in Tucson. But I will tell you, I will bet you your bottom dollar, there's more than that. But these people didn't fill out their profile. This is the problem. This is why you got to fill it out. Make sure you fill it out. But you can network with those Power Agents. And what some Power Agents are doing, they're creating groups. So
they're brainstorming. I love it.
They're brainstorming. They're getting together. So if you wanted to, who is that agent that just said that?
Chatty.
So Chatty. So now what I would do, Chatty, is I would reach out to each one of these people and say, hey, listen, I just joined the Power Agent program. I see that you're a Power Agent. Can we get together for lunch? And form like a local Tucson chapter of Power Agents and brainstorm. And anybody that creates local groups like that, if you let me know, I'll make a special phone call to you and give you some ideas on how to run those meetings. They're called Power Group meetings. And I'll tell you how to do that. So, okay.
I love it. Denise just signed up. So excited to see where this takes me. Welcome, Denise. Cindy says, love all the information. I tend to get overwhelmed with other programs. Yours is so people-friendly and easy to navigate for non-tech people like me. So welcome.
That's great, Cindy. Good stuff.
Thank you.
All right, listen, guys, I'm going to let you go. You got to sign up if you're still a guest and haven't become a Power Agent, because when we close this webinar right now, that little floating bubble on the screen is going to go away. So don't let it go away. Grab it right now, click on it, and get to the page. Listen, again, don't worry about committing to 47 right now. Just commit to the $5. You probably spend more money at Starbucks for something that goes away after a very short time. So get involved with this program. Get those bonuses. The $5 is so worth it to you. And then get to know us, and you'll know our commitment is to teaching agents how to be better, not closers, but better coaches. How to not sell people, but serve people. We have a different culture than other training programs. And we want to permeate the real estate business with this thinking, because that's what homeowners like. They want people to be served. They want people to serve them, not sell them, right? So anyway, last thing I'm going to say is don't forget, we don't just help people buy and sell real estate. We help them get to their next level. It's a bigger picture what we do. Real estate is just part of that bigger picture. And the money you make is a gauge as to how many lives you've touched and helped them get to their next level. So go out there and help those people, and the money will follow. Money is really a gauge as to how many lives you've touched. So touch a lot of lives, and it'll follow. All right. God bless you guys. Stay safe, stay focused, and don't forget to keep smiling. Bye-bye, everybody.